2002 to 2005, things we did then. We opened the Canterbury Clubhouse, one of those two houses over behind the lower school building, over behind the 4th grade wing. We opened one of those. We now have two. The reason I mention that is because it expanded our extended day programs, and that was important because our families had changed. We now had more dual working families, families who needed the all-day experience that the extended day programs of the Clubhouse and now the Corner House can bring. So that really marked, I thought, an understanding of the fact that Canterbury had changed in some ways, changed and grown and matured. Favorite memory from that time? Jan Paflis moved to the high school during those years. What a wonderful servant Jan has been to the school over the years. She was a teacher here, accelerated math teacher. She was a board member. As I mentioned, she was my first long-standing board chair. She was director of the middle school. She was director of development. Then she was director of the high school. Although during those high school years, she did go out to lunch an awful lot. What Jan has contributed to the school, I hope, is an example that many people for generations will follow. A person who said, how can I serve this school? And whatever the role was, Jan will be willing to take it. So, a very special person, Jan Paflis. Thank you very much. 2005 to 2008, I didn't want to embarrass anybody tonight, except for Jan. Capital campaign of $13 million was achieved. Lots of ways it benefited the school. We added things and so on. But as you look around the school and walk through, the three components that I would mention are the libraries. Lower school library, middle school library, high school library, with the same theme of the beams, which said to us that the library is the core of the school experience. There's a sense in which we are not going to move away from the fact that learning should be at the center of what we do. And it should be at the center of the commitments we make. It should be at the center of the dollars that we raise for the school. So being able to consolidate three wonderful libraries was, to my mind, a great part of that campaign. But I'll tuck in here as well. The Anthony Wayne building, which I love because my first office was there, the small dark room. The Anthony Wayne building always felt like sort of poor stepsister. It never felt as grand as the high school. The last campaign let us redo so many things. The entryways became different. We had new windows throughout that just transformed the place. Not only did it look better from outside, it felt better inside. It was quiet, it was more efficient. So it was wonderful to be able to see that building transformed as well. Favorite memory from those years. During that capital campaign, no real people here, we're just living in chaos, because as some of you may recall, in order to put this second floor here, we had to drop columns down throughout the school. So my office was in the art room, which was very good for my sense of creativity. And there were bobcat machines driving up and down the hall. They ripped up all the science labs. There was chaos. There was plywood that would prevent us going past certain places. But it was fun. It was real fun. I remember so many years when I'd say, it'd be great when there isn't a summer full of dust, but this was a return to the summer when there were really going to be some growing things happening. The kids loved it too. You know, they could see construction going on. The boys loved the big machines going on. The girls loved the construction guys. It was great. It was fun. And it was great to have it done. 2008 to 2011, the things we did. We received a $2 million gift from the Malone Family Foundation. A way to support strong, bright students of families with financial need. And that seemed to me to be the spirit of Canterbury all along, to make ourselves accessible to people. Many of you have done that by your gifts throughout the years, to say, let's take bright kids and make sure that they have an opportunity. The Malone family gift really allowed us to do that in a very special way. This year we have 12 Malone scholars, and they're wonderful. We stay closely in touch with the Malone Foundation. I see the secretary every year at a meeting. She continues to think of Canterbury as one of the jewels in the crown of the Malone family's outreach. Favorite memory, again, not quite so much people. We built a greenhouse. John and Marshall Crawford offered to give us a gift. He said, what would you like to do with it? And I ran down the hall and I said, Ted King, what would you think if you had a greenhouse? He said, I love a greenhouse. And I said, I've always wanted to have a greenhouse here on campus. So the Crawfords were great and they allowed us to do that. And I love to go over there now and see horticulture going. I love to be able to smell tomatoes in January. But as a student, one of the seniors, because I meet with all of the seniors during these 10 days, for 15 minutes or so, 90 kids in the last 10 days, one of them said to me, horticulture is so unique because you can get your hands dirty. You don't do that at Canterbury very much. It's a unique experience, and so I'm delighted that we've been able to add that component to our school. 2011 to 2014, things we did. The boys soccer team and the girls basketball team each won their 5th state championship, which is a pretty remarkable performance. I stood downstairs after a meeting early one morning last year, I think, with Dick Waterfield, and we were sharing thoughts out in the lobby. He was asking, what kind of surprised you over the years? And I said, just look around here. We're standing down there and there are all these trophies around us. I said, I never would have predicted when the high school began that we would have all these athletic trophies. We played against a nice local public high school a year ago who had a small one, who had what they thought was their best basketball team in years. And Ken Harkenrider came and saw me the next morning. We won the game. It was a sectional final. And he had talked to the athletic director from the other school and said, yes, so how many, if you had won this sectional championship, so how many would this have been? And he said, it would have been our first. So I think that put into perspective for me the successes that our athletes have had. Favorite memory. Favorite memory is a bit of a sad memory from those years. The passing of Ray Loomis, who was a wonderful person. Again, a great servant to the school. I can remember a day, there was some office was going out of business somewhere, and they were having one of those sales. So Ray and I were always looking for bargains. So we headed off, and we were getting these things, and there was this old rickety wooden chair, kind of a rocking chair thing with wheels and so on. I said, Ray, let's salvage that. He said, yeah, let's do that. And he took it home, polished it up, and he brought it to me one day and put it in my office. And I said, we're going to put a little plaque on this saying, finished by Ray Loomis and the date. So that's sitting in my office right now. It's a great memory of somebody who served the school so loyally for 29 years. He was a great supporter. He was one of a kind. And as you remember from his bumper plate, he was always a ray of hope. It's eternal. So the last one, 2014 to 2016, takes us to today. Things we did. We took the fine arts, or a fine arts group, to Ireland last year. And again, this year we're taking one to Europe. And that, I think, is important because if in the early years of the school I were to be asked, how is the school doing fulfilling its mission? It was the last piece of the founding mission being strong academics, a broadly based Christian environment, and a strong fine arts program. It's the last piece of those three that I really felt good about, that we put in place. And finally seeing a group go over to Ireland, have a wonderful experience, really captured to me the sense that now this is a global theme for our fine arts program. And those of you that may have been to fine arts concerts over the past few years, I think have seen just an explosion of talent and creativity and ability. So that trip to Ireland seemed to say to me, what a wonderful way now to be saying, fine arts is here to live and breathe and thrive. Favorite memories from the last few years, actually from this year, I'll tell you a special treat that I've had. I have received, since Christmas time, on a monthly basis, some notes from lower school students and faculty, sort of sharing some thoughts about their perceptions of school and things that they've come to appreciate. And I think the memory that stays from that is the young voices who can understand what this is all about. Joyful kids at school, and that's what we're all here about. So, there are some favorite memories. Thank you all for bearing with me. Thank you for coming to see me.